before this game. And Sam, you were there, and tell us about it a little bit.
Yeah, it was awesome. Coach Clay McKee, he kind of set a lot of this up, and he kind of just got a lot of alumni together all the way from 1966 to present. If you ever played for Scott County, graduated from Scott County, got there and had some food and gave out those co-red shirts. Had a couple videos. Miss Wilson was our guest speaker.
That's awesome.
The wife of the great Bill Wilson, and she gave an awesome speech about how she watched the first ever Scott County football game, and all these years later, when in 2000 when they broke ground on the Bill Wilson Fieldhouse, how someone looked at her and said, "Wouldn't it be awesome if your grandson could participate in that?" And
sure enough,
Bryce Ryman was in my graduating class, and we had an awesome time in there. And so it was an awesome speech about how she's been here from the beginning, and she ended it with, they might build other schools, other teams might try to take some of our players, but we're still one of the best football programs in the state of Kentucky. Don't you forget that, the Scott County Cardinals. And it was awesome, and everyone clapped for her. And it was an awesome time. Got to see some great Scott County legends. And, just awesome. I wish I could be down there with them, but up here with you, taking care of business.
Love seeing Ms. Wilson at almost all the games. I know for the Battle of the Birds this year, she was a little bit under the weather and had to stay home watch us. But very next week, or a couple of weeks later, went down to Bull County, and I saw you walking in, and about 2 minutes after that, I saw Ms. Wilson and her family. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
She's the greatest.
She is the super fan of all super fans of this program, and so much invested in it over the years. And we are so glad she was able to attend that and be part of that. It's a special night, and hopefully this can be the start of a tradition. And I know that's one thing that Coach McKee and now Clay McKee has kind of taken that baton and just kind of building that pride and that link to the past.
Yeah, as you were mentioning, Cal, about the U having guys come back. That's what happens when you have awesome tradition and people are proud of their school and where they come from. They want to come back and support their program. And hey, look at them. This is where I went to high school. I'm proud of it. And we talk about it every Friday night, how special football is in Scott County, and it shows with the amount of support from alumni.
Right now, they're standing shoulder to shoulder, about 24 strong, behind Paul Garner and Thomas Fikert as they go out for the coin toss. Want to wish Jasanti Harmon well. I understand he had surgery this week for that knee injury, and probably not able to walk out there or be here for the coin toss tonight, but we've been thinking of him and certainly praying for a full recovery there as the Cardinals take the field. The Anderson County Bearcats coming in with a record of 0-5 in this 5A district.
Yeah, they don't seem to have too many.
They don't have a lot
there.
of. We were looking at their lack of bodies, and if you look at their roster, there aren't a lot of seniors, and that's telling as well. You hope a team like this can kind of take its lumps and not lose any to attrition throughout the year and after the season. You want to build your program back up, and games like this probably don't help to that extent. They lost 53-15 to Rockcastle County. They were defeated 34-14 by Marion County, 49-6 Henry County, 28-12 Carroll County, and South Oldham 41-7 last week. So they have played a lot of county schools, and none of them are Scott County.
No, again,
to say the least.
This is just take care of your business. You don't want to say anything bad about another program, but they're clearly not up to Scott County standard, and Scott County can't take it lightly. Obviously, again,
no.
that's how a lot of injuries happen when you don't go all the way through. You go through the motions. You obviously don't want that. You want to get out of this game healthy. So go full go for this first quarter. Hopefully, you already got a running clock by then, and then get out and let your JV get some run.
The JVs and the freshmen both undefeated this year for Scott County, by the way. So nothing.
Yeah, not a huge drop-off.
Nothing going to slow down this train. As a good group of seniors were honored tonight, but there's plenty of people. We've seen the depth of the backs and receivers, and we'll talk about them throughout the night, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It was a couple of weeks ago, 7 different guys scored a touchdown. It was the same story last week against Collins with a freshman in Timmy Yamongo scoring twice on offense and once on defense.
Yeah, we mentioned it last week, but after Scott County split schools, there for a couple of years, the JV was a little down because you got to use all those numbers that you can. But I feel like this year's really the first time since the school split that Scott County's really loaded up on all three levels with freshman, JV, and varsity.
Buddy Collins and Timmy Yamongo, both underclassmen, both Division I offered athletes, back for Scott County to receive the kickoff. Anderson County kicking from left to right on your dial.
Watch out for maybe a quick
Yeah, you got to pull
right
out
here.
you got to pull out all the stops if you're Anderson County too. Watch out for the onside kick or something of that nature, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And I also wouldn't be shocked to see one of these returners take it to the house for 6 real quick.
John Frazier kicking off for the Bearcats. He will kick it short, taken at the 25 on the run by Timmy Yamongo. He cuts back inside 40, 45. He gone 50, 40. Nah, he's taken down from behind now, and a second Bearcat comes in to knock him down at the 35. But that is a 40-yard return when you almost called that
Almost
one, Sam.
Called it. Yeah, you have one guy to beat. He kind of got him by the shoestrings at the very end. Just couldn't really get his full go. Made so many nice juke moves, but nonetheless, great return. And Scott County's in great field position to start this game.
40-yard kick return to the Anderson 35 to start this one. Andrew Hickey and the offense will go to work.
Starting with the backfield with Buddy Collins and Thomas Fikerd.
Yeah, you never really know who's going to be in the backfield to start the game lately, which it keeps everybody fresh and keeps everybody honest,
right.
Really.
You got so many options back there. That's a good thing to have.
It will be Fryman, and he gets stuck. Nope, it's a good fake. He faked me out, and Buddy Collins is going to go untouched to the end zone. I was going to say, if they really got stopped on the first play, it would have been kind of atypical of what we have seen lately. And here goes Buddy Collins down the home sideline, scampering all the way. Nobody within 10 yards.
Yeah, I think Anderson County was just like you, Cal. They had no clue where the ball was.
Well, we've seen Scott County against tougher opponents, yes, run that little dive, that little belly on the first play and second play maybe even. And so much for that. 29 seconds into this one, Buddy Collins takes it to the house. And Collins has had his share of big plays this year. He really got unleashed offensively down at Lincoln County in week 3. And ever since then, he's been in that mix.
Yeah, when you have that kind of speed and you can get that edge, you have the angle, not a lot of guys are going to catch you.
Taysir Jabbour, who is knocking 95% of his PATs through the uprights this year, nails another one. And it's 7-0 at the 11:31 mark here, one play into this.
It's also very hard to get caught when the defense has no clue where the ball's at.
Or the play-by-play guy. Buddy Collins, that's his third touchdown rushing this year. He was 7 carries for 109 yards before that, so add 35.
I'll give you a break, Cal.
Yeah, just,
it's great play fake.
It was a tremendous play fake. You got a third-year quarterback down there doing what he does and selling it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, when the offense is running the way it has been this year with the fakes as pristine as they've been, it's very hard to stop this offense, and we've seen not a lot of teams have. You have to be very skilled and very disciplined to stop this offense.
Jabbour will kick it deep to the 6-yard line where the Bearcats will try to run it back and get taken down at the 25. Scott County's, knock on wood, covered kicks really well this year, with the exception of maybe one down at Boyle County, which was just a special athlete getting it done in that case.
Yeah, we won't even mention that.
We're trying to wipe that one from our memory. The beauty is we won't have to see that team again.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
unlike some powerhouse teams they played in recent years.
I was going to say, with those, those Douglas teams, we always knew in the back of our head, man, we're going to have to play them in the playoffs again at some point.
It's very defeating when you know that.
Yep. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Good thing is Scott County can beat anybody in 5A.
Eli Castle, the quarterback, he has completed 1 touchdown pass and thrown 9 interceptions on the year. That's kind of typical of an 0-5 team and a young team at that. They will run the ball on first down and get maybe a yard before a flock of Cardinals hits him off left tackle.
It kind of looks like they're in the triple option veer look. We'll see if they come out and actually run it, because Madison Central also came out kind of in this look, but really have just kind of ran fullback dive a lot. They never ran the full option. We'll see if Anderson County can get, a little explosive and do that.
Hunter Hilton carried there. He's number 33. Also expect to see a little bit of Nehemiah Wilson, number 23. He is in the backfield as well. Hilton is the fullback, Wilson the tail. Kind of a good old-fashioned I formation. Now they'll move a third man in motion into the backfield. They will hand it off to Wilson, and he gets stacked up after a 1-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the Anderson 28. 10:30 to play in the first quarter. Scott County already on the board on a 35-yard touchdown run by Buddy Collins, 7-0.
And I know it might not seem like it to most people, but I think this is a big third down for Scott County's defense because, again, you don't want to just be stringing drives out there. I've been in that situation where you're clearly better than the other team, and you let them just get a first down here and there. Go ahead and get your 3 and out. Let the offense go score again.
Scott County's defense has been opportunistic all year long, and they've also gotten their share of 3 and outs and their share of sacks. And in the backfield there to stop that one is Justin Stevenson, who led the team in tackles or shared the lead with 7 last week, defended the pass. He's forced his share of turnovers as well. He's been a guy back there all season long.
That was a good play by Justin because that was a good fake there by Anderson County, a little bootleg action. They ran the back out of the backfield on a wheel route, and I believe the quarterback was looking for him. Before he could get his feet set, Justin Stevenson met him in the backfield.
See if they come after it. They do. Paul Garner swats it and picking it up and taking it to the end zone is guess who? Justin Stevenson.
You could have picked about 4 Cardinals to block that punt.
There were 3 or 4 guys at the point of attack, but number 4 was practically on top of the punter.
We've been saying it for the last few weeks. Is Paul going to get there? He's been so close. Finally got him one.
With 9:07 to play, it's going to be 14-0 with a Taysir Jabbour extra point, which is almost automatic. I probably just jinxed him.
We got confidence in him. He won't let you bring him down.
It's good. Less than 3 minutes into this one, Cards have a 2-touchdown lead. Justin Stevenson, 2 big plays back-to-back. First with the sack for the 3 and out, and then picks up the block punt. We'll credit it to Garner because that's just Garner doing Garner things right there. And running it back to the house, approximately 20 yards. Didn't really see where he picked it up. But
yeah, Anderson County might want to switch up their protection on punt because, as we mentioned, you could have picked 4 or 5 Cardinals to block that punt. It's kind of like the whole left side of the line just came free.
The kick is going to bounce through the end zone. Taysir has double-digit touchbacks on the season, and you can add another one. That one wasn't. That was a no-doubter. Yeah. That almost bounced over the fence.
That probably went about 8 yards
deep. Parking lot.
Good kick by Taysir. And again, for this defense, let's come out here. Let's get another 3 and out, maybe a turnover. Get up 3 scores and really start taking care of your business.
Business is booming right now. Cards up 14-0. Defense and special teams have been as much a part of it as offense so far, as you had a long kick return to set up a 1-play drive and then a sack and a blocked punt to set up a scoop off the turf for 6.
Yeah, and it always will be. That's part of Scott County's DNA.
Toss left, Nehemiah Wilson looking for room. There is none. He is swarmed for a 2-yard loss. Going to be hard to credit tackles on that side of the field as the red numerals on the black shirts.
To add on to that, Cal, but you know this, it's a staple in Scott County's program to be great at special teams. Coach McKee holds that that part of the game almost higher than offense and defense. If you can dominate special teams, then he has a great feeling that you're going to win the football game, and it's proved to be true for the last 25 years.
Anderson County taking its sweet time. I would too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Play clock down to 5. They are just getting set now. Straight ahead handoff, a little bit of room there up the middle. Wilson picks up 4, maybe 5 to the 23. That'll set up 3rd and 7, which is the same thing Anderson had moments ago when they went for their first pass of the game and got sacked and eventually had to punt, and that didn't work out well either.
No, we'll see if they try to get creative here, if they just try to go back to that dive play right there. I mean, you got 4, probably more. They lost actually yardage on the first play, so probably got more than that, probably about 5 or 6. But either way, it's going to be tough sledding for Anderson County. It's just, how do you want to do it? Pick your poison.
They've had more success so far, not a big sample size,
right,
but with the fullback dive than they have with running.
Yeah, you don't really want to let Scott County pin their ears back and get after the quarterback, but they're going empty right here. So
yeah, and now a timeout as they want to talk it over.
Anderson County.
Coach for Anderson County is David Buchanan.
I believe it's his first year, is it not?
Yeah, I believe so. As they've had, they had a decent season. I want to say 3 or 4 years back. Yeah, Mark Palmer was the coach last year. They went 2-9, lost in the first round of the playoffs to Boyd County.
I know. I know this has probably been about 10 years now, but when I was in middle school, they had a 2 or 3 year stretch where they were very good. They had some great battles in the playoffs with Franklin County when Ryan Timmons was there. And believe it or not, Ryan Timmons took a kickoff back with about 4 seconds left to win the game in like the second or third round of the playoffs. It was incredible.
Back-to-back 2-win seasons. They were winless in the COVID year of 2020.
I could be mistaken, but years about 12, 13, 14, I believe they were pretty good.
That seems about right.
Rolling out.
Roll to the right. He had a guy over there, hesitated. Now he'll throw deep.
Good coverage.
Good,
by Paul
well-thrown ball, but Garner was right in his tire tracks and just a touch overthrown.
Yeah, that was a pretty good ball, as you mentioned. Just great coverage by Paul Gardner. Got his right arm in there and knocked it down, forcing a punt.
Colin Ballard, a junior, was the intended receiver for Eli Castle, also a junior. We noted not a lot of seniors on this roster, a ton of juniors, sophomores, and a boatload of freshmen. They list the freshmen on the varsity roster, which, with a couple of notable exceptions, Scott County doesn't do or have to do.
See if Scott County can get after this one as well.
They will certainly try. 4th and 7 from the 23. Coming at you, Garner. He got there. He might have gotten a piece. Shanked it at the very least, and that one's only going to be down at the 32, maybe 31, an 8-yard punt.
He did his best to get rid of it. Another great effort by Paul Gardner. And that's what makes Scott County special, Cal, is, Paul Gardner's your senior leader. He's one of your, if not your best player on defense. You're playing an inferior opponent, and he's out there laying out on punts, risking his body, just sacrificing for the team. That's awesome. Some coaches just keep special teams to younger players, get them some playing time. That's not the case at Scott County. They put their best players on the field, try to dominate that phase of the game.
Buddy Collins, right side, untouched again, inside the 10, the 5, down to the 2. Buddy Collins has carried twice for 64 yards so far.
Here comes Ellis Hughley in the game. I believe he's coming in for Buddy. He is. I believe Scott County has the senior trio in the game now in the backfield.
Look like Jacob Fryman. This is probably his territory here on the 2. It will be Fryman, and he will score standing up. .646 to play in the first quarter. And it is 20-0 pending the extra point.
What's run clock, 36?
Yes,
sir.
They'll probably go for the 2 after the 5th touchdown. Sometimes he either elects not to, or sometimes they just get celebrating too much and don't get the 2-point team out there. But That happened last week, I think, against Collins. He admitted it was a coaching error.
Oh,
Jabor kind of line drove that one, and
Yeah,
it's no
didn't get it.
good. So I did jinx him indirectly after talking earlier. It's only his third miss of the season.
yeah. I don't think the snap hold was
No,
very great.
not spectacular.
Tayseer, kind of just did what he could.
Yeah, so much has to go right, which is why if you have a strong leg in high school as he does, your college prospects are going to be pretty good because at that level, some of those other details get cleaned up. There's
Oh,
so
yeah.
much has to go right. The snap,
It
the hold,
does,
both have to be
you
letter perfect.
And not just that, but once you do catch it, you got to get it down, spin it, have it the exact way the kicker wants it. A lot more goes into it than people think, which has always amazed me, like college NFL, when they have like the punter, be the holder. You would think a more athletic guy would be the guy holding, but I guess they get so much time to
They
practice.
just want somebody with good hands back
Right.
there. And another touchback. So, again, Jabor showing the leg. Oh, that miss might guarantee we see a little bit more of the starting offense tonight because they'll probably just continue to kick it. It'll require 3 more touchdowns to get to the running clock threshold. Long way to go in the first quarter, still 6:46. Cards have been on the board 3 times. Buddy Collins, Jacob Fryman with touchdown runs, sandwiched around a block punt that Justin Stevenson ran back for a score. Garner has blocked 1.5 punts already tonight. We'll give him credit for that last shank. Straight ahead, some running room for the fullback again as he is tripped up at the 27, but a good gain on first down of 7 yards.
Yeah, good open field tackle by Jackson Dameron. Kind of just ran a little, off counter, handoff. This guy kind of dropped into a coverage expecting a pass there.
Hunter Hilton's averaging 4 yards a pop this year, and Nehemiah Wilson averaging 5. So their backs have gotten some good yardage. Just they've not been in a lot of running situations with the score being so lopsided against them at times. Sticking to their guns here as they have a full house backfield behind the QB. And where's the flag? Close to the marker, but we'll see what the penalty is. I would think it's some sort of illegal formation there, or some movement. Eli Castle, the QB, 35 for 76 on the season, 448 yards. So this Anderson County offense, a little bit over 1,000 yards in 5 games. So not terrible numbers. They've had their opportunities to make some positive things happen, and we've seen how tonight. They get it done up front a little bit, but moving back here 5 yards, 2nd and 8. Big crowd here for the senior night / alumni night festivities.
Yeah, when's it not though?
It's maybe even a little heftier than normal tonight. Although there was a soccer game going on behind us, so it was hard to tell which cars were which. Castle throw pick, still on his feet. I think the ball's on the ground. Is that Buddy Collins on the pick again?
No,
I'm trying to see.
I think I want to say Dameron, but I could be wrong.
It did look like it would be more of a linebacker because it was picked off right near the point of attack. But
I was just about to mention, Scott County's defense is playing very good, but to feel really happy, I figured they would want a turnover, and they just got it on that drive. Now it's time for Scott County to punch it in.
On his feet still, dragging tacklers up the middle on the belly play. It'll be 1st and goal as Jacob Fryman goes from the 24 inside the 10 to the 9, a gain of 15. That's the fourth offensive play for the Cardinals tonight, and they are about to go in and take a 26-27 lead. Hickey to throw, left side, wide open. Lilly, can he get to the line? Are they going to say he was down by contact? If he had fumbled it through the end zone, it could have been a touchback.
Which
but
he
the
did,
official
but
point,
I think they're
official
marking him
pointing
down.
to the ground that he was down at the 1.
Right. Which the Cards don't really need it, but that's a big
break.
Yeah.
If that happens in any other game where it's not 20-0, you're going to be thankful for that.
Yep, no doubt.
That bounce going your way. Ball at the left hash mark. 2nd and goal, 1 yard line. This probably will be Fryman territory. Nope.
Gave it to another senior.
Fikert. Anderson County had no idea, and Fikert trots into the end zone with 4:29 to play in the opening quarter.
Good job by the offense, capitalizing on the great takeaway by the defense. And they're just playing complementary football. You know, all 3 phases of the game. You got a block punt by special teams, a good return on the opening kickoff. And, you know, the offense, how many touches have they had, you said, Cal? Maybe not even 10?
That's the 6th play.
6th play. Score's about to be 27-0. So that's a great job by Scott County. Again, we're going to keep harping on it, but this is just a take care of your business game for Scott County. Get the younger guys in there as soon as you possibly can and rest for next week. And so far, they've done a great job of it.
6 offensive plays, 3 touchdowns, also a special teams TD. And Scott County piling it up early, 27-0 over the Anderson County Bearcats. Cal Oaks along with Sam Sutton. Peter Wilson in the booth. Ryan Minion on the field. DT Wells probably somewhere in the house. And Mike Scoggin back at the mothership. Thank them all for their contributions to this. Our next and final regular season broadcast, mine anyway. Sam won't be here, but Great Crossing will take on Collins. That'll be Friday night, October 27th. So it's going to be a while before then. As the kickoff returned, not a touchback this time, across the 20 to the 23. That's where Anderson County will go to work.
And this is where, if you're Scott County's defense, you start trying to play games within the games. Like, I'm sure Coach Monty maybe say something like, don't let them cross midfield, you know? and then that becomes a challenge for you. Even though the game might be out of reach a little bit, that's where the games within the games come in. And, hey, we still have something to play for. Don't let them get a first down. Don't let them get past midfield. Whatever it may be, you play that game within a game and really challenge yourself.
7.5 minutes into this one, the Cards have as good as put it away, and they will have another tackle for loss here. It's a group effort, as that one went backwards for 2, maybe 3 yards. Ben Camp in the middle of that pile is he's one of those guys that has had to step up in the absence of Jasante Harmon and has done a nice job. 2nd and 12, ball at the 20. Next week, Scott County will be at South Oldham. We won't have the broadcast, but I'll be there with Twitter updates, and then they'll be at Woodford County.
Have we ever played them, Cal?
I don't believe we played any of these teams except for Woodford. There's a little screen that is going to attract the entire Cardinals defense for another loss.
And when you say entire, you literally mean entire.
There is no black shirt anywhere except in that pile.
All 11 hats were on the ball there. Great pursuit by the defense. I believe it was Jackson Dameron, which doesn't shock me one bit. Came in there flying. I thought laid a good hit. Guy bounced off of it, and then, 3, 4, 5 more Cardinals just pounced on him. Good job by Scott County. Another big third down here. If you're Anderson County, you're just trying to get a first down at this point.
Scott County has not played South Oldham in the McKee era, at least. They are 10-0 against Woodford in that time period, but they haven't played them in a while. Castle to throw. Completes that one, but short of the marker as, again, 3-4 helmets on the ball on the far sideline to force probably an Anderson County punt, although nothing to lose if you go for it.
Looks like they are.
They have punted twice with negative results.
With you saying they haven't played in the McKee era, then they probably never have, because
Probably
back
not,
then
because they weren't
be
even
Oldham
they
County.
weren't even
Yeah.
exactly right.
It used to just be Oldham County back then. So
that's a situation where you know for a fact they've never played. Last time they played Woodford County, 2006.
I was about to say it's had to have been.
I
forever.
went down a YouTube rabbit hole the other night and found a Scott County Woodford County game from 1992. And I was trying to figure out. I think
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Was the current high school built yet?
On top of it.
I was going to say that's where the football field was.
So the football field used to be exactly where the high school.
I could see where the middle school is now in the background, which was probably the high school at the time.
The 9th grade center was there, which was the middle school. And then the high school is Scott County Middle School now. And so that's where they built it. That's why Scott County started playing at Georgetown College.
That's right.
They built the new high school right on top of the football field.
So Buddy Collins, they got the punt away. Buddy Collins made the fair catch, and I think they're going to say it was fair catch interference on the Bearcats.
Take any break you can get.
That will move it into Anderson County territory, where every drive has started. And this one will be no exception with 1:49 to play in the opening quarter. Ball will be marked at the 43. Cardinals up 27-0 and sniffing for more.
Scott County in the shotgun.
Now, you don't see that every day. Hickey in the flat, complete to Amongo. Spins away from a tackler at the 25, and he gone. Touchdown, Timmy.
Oh, man, what a play by Timmy Amongo.
Shotgun from Scott County. Put a marker in that page.
Yeah, Timmy just caught about a 15-yard dig route. Caught it between 3 different guys, shook one guy, made a spin move back out to the sideline. And once he's in open space, you're not going to catch him. Scott County with another touchdown. Man, he's a special player, Cal, and I'm looking forward to watching him play these next few years. Just get the ball in his hands, and he's going to make something happen.
Kick is good. 34-zip, 1:38 to play in the first quarter. Have you ever seen that play in the Scott County play? But you've been around the program longer than I have. It's been 8 years and I haven't.
It's there is a package for spread. It's almost never ran, as you just mentioned, but it has been practiced, and they came out in it right there. And as you've mentioned 1,000 times, when you have this many weapons, you might as well utilize it a little bit, and especially a game like this, try to get some real life reps in. Scott County went to that bag, and it worked out for him. Another thing, Andrew Hickey had all day to throw that ball. Good job by the offensive line.
Anderson County is probably standing around as confused.
Yeah, where's the ball at?
Why is he doing that?
Why is he backing up? A little knuckleball to the corner.
And another touchback, third of the night for Jabor and 5 tries.
I was afraid that might skirt out to the left, but it got in there in the end zone. Another touchback, as you mentioned.
It was definitely a knuckleball by his standards, but make it work. It looks the same in the box score,
yes,
and Anderson County will start at the 20.
It's like an 18 hopper up the middle in baseball or a single off the wall.
Line drive, doesn't matter.
Still counts as a single.
Toss, nothing there.
That's a demoralizing feeling when you catch a toss in the backfield and immediately 4 guys are staring
and you're
at
hit
you.
by 3 or 4 bodies. The toss has definitely not worked tonight. A little bit of success running right up the gut. 2nd and 11 from the 19.
That's probably Scott County's weakness, especially with Shanti Harmon being out. Is that
But you can only do
interior-
that so many times for
Right.
2 or 3 yards of pop.
it's that interior defensive line. Everywhere else, Scott County's pretty much well manned.
Long count, then a handoff, ball on the turf.
I think they fell back on
recovered. I think he recovered his own drop there at the 16, maybe 17-yard line. They're signaling it's Bearcat ball. It'll be 3rd and long.
They will have to get a playoff here.
They stopped the
Yeah, I don't.
game
Maybe someone's
clock for
hurt.
some reason. Now
He's
they're winding it.
Regardless, though, they have to get this playoff.
There'll be one more play at the very least in the opening quarter. So unless there's a pick six or something of that nature, it will not be a running clock until the second.
Third down, 16.
Say if they get conservative and just hand it off, or bombs away, try to go 4 verts, and why not see what happens. Well, I guess they reset the clock. I don't know what happened there, but
it didn't add up.
A debacle. That's what that was.
I think they just said, whatever.
34-0.
End of the first quarter.
Yeah, I guess
let's just let it run and start at the other end. After the long walk, it'll be 3rd and it says 3rd and 16. It'll be 3rd. If it's at the 16, it'll be 3rd and 14. Someone's not doing the math right up in the
Someone's messing up. It ain't Cal Oaks.
I got mine out of the way on the first play of the game. That was my fumble. After that, it's all downhill.
Hey, those
Buddy Collins had that first touchdown run. He also set up another one. His long run set up the score by Jacob Fryman. In between, we had a Justin Stevenson blocked punt return. The punt was blocked by Paul Garner.
The last 13 years of his career were spent as the head freshman football coach, where he coached 6 undefeated teams.
They talking about Coach Hatfield, Chris Hatfield?
I believe
so.
Yeah.
He will be missed by family members, players, and coaches. His long-lasting impact is and will continue to be felt by students, players, and community members for years to come. A plaque is presented to his wife Jennifer and other family members, as well as a small token of our appreciation for the impact he made within the Carmel community. Please join us with a standing ovation to celebrate the life of Coach Chris Hatfield.
Nice tribute to Coach Chris Hatfield, who is watching from a better seat than us tonight.
Yeah, well-respected man, Coach Hatfield. I got the honor of playing for one of his freshman teams, and you would have to think that Scott County had the best freshman program in the state, the way he ran it, and just a good man, great teacher, great leader of young men, and gone way too soon, but great tribute there by Scott County, and our prayers are still with the Hatfield family.
For sure. Stats are certainly upside down for Anderson County. 13 plays, 8 total yards. They've had the ball for almost 10 minutes out of the 12 in the first quarter, and that's going nowhere. Kind of a little counter.
Might be
and
Christian
it just got lit up.
No,
now it's Ben
Camp
again.
I believe, yep.
Camp has been right there on top of it, going to the left side tonight.
He's really done a good job after really having to step up his role with just Santi Harmon being out. That's what older guys have to do, Cal. You got to step up when your number's called. He's done a good job of that. But this sets up Anderson County in a terrible situation.
They've got a punt.
Because they either got to give it to Buddy Collins or they are getting it blocked, one or the other.
And he is standing right on the goal line, is Mr. Frazier. Yeah, and he gets rid of it barely, and it bounces out of bounds at the Scott County 29. I'm at the Anderson County 29, excuse me. So, 17-yard punt after tackle for loss, and tackle for loss. Push back the Bearcats.
To be honest, though, Cal, it's probably the best case scenario for Anderson County. They got it off. They gained a few yards, and Buddy Collins didn't get to return it.
So all's well that ends well if you're a Bearcat fan. And now Scott County is 29 yards away from the running clock with 11:15 to play, in the second quarter.
I believe Scott County's had all different guys. Oh, I think Fryman has 2 touchdowns. But it's been
Nope, Fryman has one.
spread out.
Fikert
Just has one. Fikert had the other.
There's Hughley, and there's a flag, and Coach McKee not happy.
But that's good to see, spreading the wealth out.
Yeah, Collins and Fryman are the only guys with multiple carries. You have Amongo and Lilly each with a catch. Hickey 2 for 2 for 51 yards. Cards have been averaging double-digit yardage per play in the last 2 wins. Tonight will be no exception. Right now, they're at, do the math, 19 yards per offensive play. 7 plays, 133 yards. They're backing up here, so they'll get a chance to put more yardage in that column as they're all the way back to the 46.
Looks like a personal foul.
Spot fouls. Must be the chop block again.
Chop block.
1st and 27.
I'm sure we'll just see a basic Scott County
Now they
sweep.
moved it to the 44.
Would be my guess here to Ellis Hughley.
We saw that last week, 3rd and forever, and they just ran it with Hughley for a first down.
That's
now
what
you
they
got
go
1st
to.
and forever.
He's got a lot of room.
All kinds of room. Cut back at the 30. Spins away at the 25. Taken down just a yard shy of the marker at the 20. So on 1st and 25, he gained 24.
That's not good, Cal. We talked about not having any injuries. I just saw Scott County center Cedric Dunn go in to the injury tent.
That's not good. You don't want that.
He walked in on his own power. Maybe he's just getting a little tape job, right? Yeah, no one was with him. He just kind of walked in there.
Obviously an important position in a wing T offense.
Huge. Especially this being his first year at the varsity level.
Fake the handoff up the
York.
middle. They'll go to Isaac York on the sweep. We saw that a couple of times in recent weeks, and they unpack it again, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 1.
A little double team by Christian Rodriguez and Jacob Fryman. Just, if you heard the oohs and ahs from the crowd, laid out a poor soul in Anderson County secondary on the lead block.
Christian Rodriguez has gotten his money's worth. He started on defense last week. Of course, got a scoop 6.
If I saw those 2 guys coming at me on a double team, I don't know what I would be thinking.
Kane Garrett, touchdown.
Make that another Scott County player to get a touchdown.
They put in Garrett at the fullback position. He gets the 1-yard dive, and with 10:23 to go in the first half, the rest of this game will be played under continuous clock conditions. Jabor will kick it under the hold of Drumheller, Caden Drumheller. Kick is good onto the roof of the field house.
I hope they have a ladder up there.
Got to have something. I see people up there all the time, so I don't know how they get there, but there's a way.
There's a way.
I don't know if there's an elevator and a trap door. Somebody up there right now walking to get it.
Oh, yeah, I see him.
Yeah, most schools probably have their field house set back a little bit.
Yeah, a little
so you
bit.
don't run into that situation, but that wasn't the case here. We'll see what the arrangement is at the new Scott County High School in 2024.
Probably the exact same. Can't have anything.
Got to have
different.
it all be equal. It'll look remarkably similar.
Hopefully Scott County puts a little character on theirs, but at least the building will be the same. The setup will be the same.
That's right. At opposite ends of the bypass.
Just call it the Battle of the Bypass.
The Battle of the Bypass. Sounds good to me. Only it sounds like you're talking about heart surgery. Which, we haven't had too many games that close in the series yet, but you never know. Kickoff taken and the return to the 19. So, I know, right at the 20. So it was as good as a touchback, even though it wasn't one this time.
Yeah, another good coverage by Scott County's kickoff team. Kane Garrett got in there. Let's see.
Definitely a
Still a lot of starters.
carnival atmosphere tonight
Right.
here, and why not? As this one is well in hand, we will get it over with pretty quickly.
I saw Buddy Collins on the sideline. I thought maybe the JV had already gone in, but probably just gave him a little bit of a break.
I would think they're going to get the first half.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. At least one more drive.
Fake the run to the left. They'll throw it right, and another negative play for the Bearcats.
Yeah, the Bearcats their play designs are nice. You can tell that they're coached well. It's just they're just not really having the athletes right now to get away from Scott County.
They're doing things that other teams have had success with against the Cardinals.
They just don't have the guys to do it. Yeah. But like as you mentioned, that you didn't mention a lot of seniors, so maybe they're just real young and they're going to get there.
Yeah, if you look down their roster, I mean, I don't know what their roster represents because it's longer than the number of players they brought here tonight. I can tell you that. They've got maybe 20, 25 bodies on the sideline in addition to the 11 on the field, but they do not have a lot of upperclassmen. Running for his life is Castle, taken down by Luke Valencia. Leads the team in tackles for loss, and there's a sack to add to that total.
Yeah, good job not biting on the backside counter, staying with his man, reading his keys, and just blew it up in the backfield.
I think Luke is an invited guest to the UK-Florida game tomorrow.
That's awesome. I know Timmy is. I did see that. I don't know if we mentioned it on air, but Timmy Amongo getting an offer from EKU this week. Getting a guest pass to the UK-Florida game this week. So the young freshman's already on the rise, getting the attention he deserves.
Castle, little middle screen, and all over that's Jacob Blair. That got
by Blair.
2 yards and nothing more. And once again, Anderson County will punt from the shadow of its own end zone.
Once again, though, Cal, I like that play design. If Blair gets blocked, there's a lot of room to run. Again, just, sometimes Jimmy's and Joe's are better than X's and O's, and Jacob Blair, made the offensive lineman whiff and made a one-on-one tackle.
Just got to get a little bigger, faster, and stronger. Do the Bearcats, and like I said, like you said, I like what they're doing. Just the spirit is willing, but the flesh may be a little weak compared to Scott County.
It's good to see Buddy back there.
They're going to come after this punt again. Stevenson almost got there. They get it away. Muffed it, but picked it back up, and lots of room to run. Collins inside the 20, down to the 10, breaks away again. Touchdown, 40-yard return. Buddy Collins, no flags.
Went from a muff putt to maybe stepping out of bounds, somehow staying in bounds to a touchdown. That was a little bit of a circus return, but nonetheless, it's a touchdown for the Cardinals.
Again, same in the box score as anything much more convincing. Speed kills. Buddy Collins just doesn't have many guys that can keep up with him in that category on a field.
It's another thing that we haven't really mentioned, Cal, that Scott County is finally getting back to is having a lot of speed out there. That was kind of a catalyst for a long time and getting right back to it.
48-0 after the PAT with 6:47 to play second quarter.
And we talk about all these weapons, and we don't even mention Ali, which a lot of people might consider, our best back when he's healthy.
He just hasn't
and
been.
He hasn't been healthy
years.
that much. So good news is he has another year. He's only a junior. I know we're talking about the future, but you lose your big three trio that does everything correct, but you do bring back Buddy Collins, Timmy Amongo, Ali.
And some probably 3/5 of your line, maybe 4/5.
Meeks has been doing a great job at fullback on the JV. Hickey comes back. They've put Jackson Dameron at fullback a few times, and he looks awesome when he is back there. I think it's just more of, hey, we don't need him right here, right now. Let's just keep him on defense. But if needed, I think he'll be a great fullback. So
it's kind of like what Luke Colvin was a couple of years ago.
Right. So a lot of things to be excited of the present and future of the Scott County Cardinals.
Jabbour Kicks it deep, but in the field of play. Anderson County will try to get something going here across the 20 finally.
That's a good tackle. Trying to look
Wilson
at the number.
stopped at the 22. Yeah, who did get the tackle? Justin Stevenson there.
Yep. I couldn't tell if it was him or Robert Thompson. Both in the 20s. But good tackle by Justin Stevenson.
Buddy Collins, 65 yards rushing and a touchdown. Now a 40-ish yard punt return for a touchdown. He's got to be a candidate for tonight's West Banco Player of the Game.
Run up the middle.
Straight ahead, stuffed. Antonio Fry says
Good
nothing
play.
doing.
You know, when the offense makes subs, Coach McKee likes to kind of just go wholesale, everyone in, everyone out. Coach Monty, he's more of, hey, let me get some of my, my star players out early. I'll start filling them in late. He hardly likes to just bring a full JV roster in unless, it's mandatory. For example, Paul Gardner's out. I don't believe Buddy Collins is in. I don't see Timmy Mongo.
I do see Valencia.
Valencia's out there still, but that's what I mean. Some of the older leaders, he'll go ahead and take out, but he's definitely going to keep guys in there that can make tackles. He hates giving up touchdowns.
Is that Hughley playing on defense right now?
I think it is over here at corner.
We saw him once
I was
last
about
week.
to say I mentioned it last week, and you were like, "There's no way," but
there he is.
There he is. So.
Way.
And number 33 is in at safety. Not quite sure who that is.
I'll figure that out here momentarily. That is Mikey Valencia. So we've got three
Mikey.
Valencias on the field. You've got that man, maybe why Luke is still out there. You got Luke, Elijah, and Mikey.
I believe Fields is in at safety as well. Yeah, I totally knew that was Mikey. I don't know why I blanked right there, but it's pretty awesome playing with, your brother and your cousin, and they're all three similar in age. Pretty cool to play with family.
It is. It's like a brotherhood anyway, but
Yes,
when you
it
can
is.
make it truly your family, it's a special situation. High school football, high school sports in general is a short window, so you want to make the most of it, and that just makes it more special. 2nd and 10 for Anderson County. Castle will throw it deep left side, and they want a flag, and there may have been a fit.
Yeah.
Mikey might have had a fistful of jersey as he slaps hands with the receiver on the way by. Says didn't mean anything by it.
Yeah, I think he definitely did. The receiver looked at the official kind of bamboozled.
Come on,
yeah.
man. Braxton Mackey, the intended receiver.
I think that official wants to go home, maybe.
Yeah. I think maybe we're all headed in that direction. 4:40 to play in the second quarter. 48-0. Scott County will be 6-1 overall and 2-0 in the district at the end of this one, headed to South Oldham next week. 3 good teams ranked in the top 8 of the AP Class 5A poll in this district. So it's not going to be all cupcakes from here on out. Another carry up the middle, gets across the 25, but it'll be 4th down. Now we've got some pushing and shoving. You don't want that.
Good job getting it separated.
Cooler heads prevail. Anderson County players stepped right in and broke that up. Nice job as well.
Yeah, I believe the rest of Scott County schedule is pretty challenging.
You got South Oldham. I think it ramps
Oldham,
up.
Woodford.
And Woodford County, those are the 2 important
Finish
ones.
with Catholic.
And then you go to Catholic, and that's an RPI, a game of big
game.
RPI importance in terms of the 3rd and 4th rounds of the
Huge.
playoffs. So the opportunity is there for the Cards to do something special this year, but they've got to get those wins going down the stretch. Good punt here by Anderson County. Collins fair catches at his own 36. So worst starting field position of the night for the Cardinals. Still not bad. Now we got another flag, more jabbing and if not pushing and shoving. We'll see what that's all about. See if it's offsetting or if it gets marked off either way.
Looks like the JV is going to go in for Scott County.
I don't think there's much reason at this point to risk anything. We've said it. You can get hurt walking across the street, but
Right. There's just no point to have those guys in right now. And it gives your younger guys some Friday night experience.
you want that going forward. We talked about how things are set up pretty well here going forward for the next few seasons. And we mentioned Antonio Fry's name on defense a couple of minutes ago, and he's a guy that can run the ball on the JV level too. We saw him in the Battle of the Birds JV game, really kind of led them back with a touchdown run and some other big efforts on the offensive side. I think they marked that against Scott County, so they'll be back at the 21. Cardinals will have 3:18 to go the distance and pad this lead. It'll be JVs against starters more than likely. And now we've got timeout on the field.
And really what you want here if you're Scott County and you're Coach McKee is just to be smooth. Don't make mistakes. Don't turn the ball over. No penalties. If they stop you, they stop you, but be clean, be smooth, and do it the right way. Run every play the right way. Make sure you have your steps down. Be where you're supposed to be. I know they'll really harp on that.
Caden Drumheller under center. Getting some quality time here on a Friday night.
And
fumbles
as
the
soon as
snap.
I say that, he fumbles the snap, and looks like Anderson County
could be
has
Bearcat ball close to the red zone. Indeed, it is. Coming up with the ball,
and
number
that's
35.
You're up 48-0, and that's what just infuriates you as a coach. Is you try to give young kids a chance, maybe guys that don't get to play that much, and then that happens, and it's just you just want to, your head's going to explode.
One of the 6 seniors on the Anderson County roster, Ethan Caldwell, came off the bottom of the pile with the ball, and with 2:40 and counting, 2:40 and running, Anderson County will have a chance to get on the board. They trail 48-0.
And it looked like Colt Fields was about to go in if they had recovered that. So we'll see if he goes in at quarterback next time the Cards are on offense.
Straight ahead, good yardage up the middle, inside the 10, down to the 5, taken down at the 4. But Anderson County threatening here. Again, as we saw last week with Collins, and in this case, maybe I understand a little more. Starters against JVs is not a ton of bodies over there.
And, you give them great field position.
They're going to want to get on the board and
Yeah.
have something to smile about here in the first half. Might be their best opportunity. They haven't had the field position to even dream about it up until this point. Eli Castle, the quarterback, full house backfield. Toss left, touchdown. Nehemiah Wilson gets the 4-yard score with 1:31 to play in the half.
It's weird, you're up 48-6 with 1:30 left in the first half, and you're going to go into halftime with a sour taste in your mouth. Just because you have a turnover, you give up a touchdown, and that's not what you want to do when you give the JV an opportunity.
PAT missed, and Paul Garner blocked it. Go figure. Second block kick of the night. One was a punt that turned into a touchdown.
Was close to calling it on the first kickoff. If Buddy or Timmy gets an opportunity, I'm gonna call a house call here.
They've returned a punt already. Buddy Collins has for a touchdown. Timmy Amongo almost ran back the opening kickoff.
The thing is, if you kick it a little short, the next two guys deep are Paul Gardner and I believe Ellis Hughley.
Any of those guys could.
So any of them could go to the house. Well, they got the hand steam up, I think.
Yeah, you've got to maybe
Yeah, you gotta
anticipate that.
which makes sense. They want to try to score as much as they can. They haven't stopped them one time, so
Frazier,
why not?
Frazier, the kicker, looks like he's thinking of angling it that way.
Yep.
Kind of tipping his hand a little bit already, even though the ball's not on the tee. 91 seconds to play in the first half. All cards up until that last sequence. Still an overwhelming 48-6 lead and a running clock. Frazier will kick it short.
Kicks a little
Squib.
pooch. Yeah.
At the 24, taken by the Cards. A lot of room this side coming at you. Collins, or Mongo, excuse me, tripped up at the 37. So Timmy going a long way to get 13 yards, and with the running clock, Cards will have under a minute by the time they snap it.
Yeah, maybe one or two plays, especially with the younger group coming in. But again, in these one or two plays, Cal, you want to look sharp.
You don't want to put it on the ground again.
They're giving you an opportunity, make the most of it, do everything correctly.
Looks like it will be Colt Fields. Drumheller will line up
at tight end.
Tight end. Fields fumbles the snap.
Unbelievable.
Come on, guys. Well, we know what Jim McKee will have to use as his teachable moment and his thing to say that's got to get cleaned up. It won't be the penalties tonight, but it will be the turnovers by the second unit.
Good news is Anderson County might not even get a playoff.
No, it doesn't look like they're even going to try. By the time they set it down, 8-7, 6-5. That'll do it for the first half. Did they call a timeout? I think they did.
Yep, they want to have that one play. I mean, I get it.
Well,
you got the ball. Why not?
You drove all the way over from Lawrenceburg, right?
Get a turnover. You want to at least try to capitalize on it. I couldn't tell who Scott County has in at center on the second unit.
That could be an issue too. Did you see? I didn't. But we mentioned now we have someone on the sideline. It's number 60, it looks like. He and Colt Fields working it through. That would be Jace Williams, a sophomore.
Okay. And, obviously I'm not sure, but it could even be the third guy considering.
I was just going to say we saw
Cedric
someone go into the medical tent. So
Cedric was out early, so could even be a third string guy trying to get some reps in. Looks like we got 1.5 on the clock. Anderson County has it at the 37-yard line. If you're Scott County, you just kind of play deep, safe, and keep everything in front. Let the three rushers get to him.
Throwing it deep is Castle, way out of bounds.
Yep. It's kind of a good thing he did, or that could have been 6 the other way.
Yeah, it was the coverage man for the Cards was about 10 yards shy of the receiver, but neither one of them was going to get that ball in bounds. 48-6 your score. Convincing first half and ultimately a win tonight for the Cards. We've got 24 more minutes of running time football to bring to you. So do stay with us.
Yeah, you'll get to listen to two greats up here.
Yeah, two legends of the game.
Especially the Cal Oaks.
What can I say?
The heart and soul of Georgetown News Graphic.
I'm just happy to be here. I'm just thankful for another opportunity to do this, another season, and hoping it can go on into late November, early December.
That's always the goal here in Georgetown. Coach McKee always comes out every year, and it's
he likes
our
to
goal
say
is never to win the
he
state
likes
title.
To say that the success of the season is never measured by a state championship, because if it was, we've been unsuccessful 25 out of 26.
Which I get. It's coach talk. I'm a coach myself. I understand it. But when you come through the Scott County program, Well, before I keep going on, Coach Rakitis has the JV out here on the field running plays, which I get. Like, hey,
he said, if you're going to play the
if you're
second
gonna
half,
play,
you're not
you're
going to
gonna do it
embarrass us.
right, right. But what I was getting on to is when you come through this program, when you grow up in this town, you don't go out there to win 7-8 games a year and be happy. You play football for Scott County to go deep in the playoffs and have a chance to win a state title every single year. That's kind of what's expected of you, even if it's not mentioned. It's just kind of known, by the players, by the fans, by everybody, by the community. That's how Scott County is, and that's why it's such a special place because you are expected so much. Pressure's a privilege, and Scott County has that. It does look like Colt Fields is running these plays out here, and I believe 60 is at center. So hopefully he can get it down. You said Jace, I believe, Jace Williams.
Jace Williams. We talked about both the sub-varsity teams being undefeated. The reason that we can say that was Colt Fields had a walk-off touchdown against Great Crossing in a JV game, the closest and most stressful one for the Cards to this point. They beat Douglas the other night to go, I believe, 6-0 now in JVs. They're 5-0 on the freshman level.
Yeah, that freshman team.
High-scoring freshman team.
Pretty awesome.
They've been a lot of wild ones, 56 to 30 type scores.
We talk about all the weapons that this varsity team has. That freshman team has a buttload. And then when you add that Timmy Amongo is a freshman, he should be, could be playing on that team. That just adds even more. He shouldn't be. Don't get me wrong. He should be playing varsity football, but he is in that grade with those guys. So
we talk about freshmen and young players getting offers. I believe Juju Harmon has a D1 offer as well.
EKU.
So that's two out of that class.
Red Owens is a beast. I've heard great things about him. Hopefully he continues to get better. That's three guys off the top of our head that either have Division I offers or have interest as freshmen, which is almost unheard of.
The world's most dangerous band this side of the David Letterman show is out there in its pajamas to bring you the halftime show.
We're a little dressed up a month before Halloween. Normally that game's a little later, but we don't have any more.
Usually,
home games,
homecoming is the thing with the theme,
right?
Where you get the dress up or whatever.
But I guess to their defense, the week of Halloween, they always dress up, and we don't really. I don't think we'll have a game at that point.
No,
so
that will be that week. They'll be in between the game at Catholic and the playoff game.
Yep.
Total yards, really not that overwhelming. They've only amassed 180 on 12 plays of the Cards.
Yeah, they haven't.
Obviously had great field position. They've had the ball for a total of 4 minutes and 48 seconds.
Right.
Buddy Collins with 2 touchdowns, and he set up another 35-yard run and a 43-yard punt return. Justin Stevenson has returned a block punt by Paul Garner for a touchdown, 10 yards. Thomas Fikert, 1-yard run. That was set up by some heavier lifting by Hughley and I believe Isaac York. Timmy Amongo, that 43-yard pass out of the spread formation from Andrew Hickey. Kane Garrett, 1-yard run. He is Kane Garrett. All the stat sheet always says Kanye, which always makes me laugh a little bit.
When we first started doing this, we were like, is it Kanye Garrett? we didn't really quite know yet.
And I think at one point, maybe it was even spelled that way on the roster, but it is Kayne. Henry Clay basketball team had a kid named Kanye a couple of years ago.
Yep.
That always made me laugh. They had Kanye and we had Jay-Z.
Yeah.
So it was always fun.
I saw their varsity basketball schedules came out. Scott County, another challenging schedule as usual.
Yeah, it's going to be some fun basketball played in the county this year. Whichever school you root for, get out and support and have a good time because it's going to be Scott County.
Going to be young.
Yeah, they're going to be very young. They had a lot of fifth-year seniors that went, had a tough run because that schedule. They haven't dumbed down that schedule at all.
Nope.
Over the years.
And I had a great relationship with Coach Glenn, Coach Tim Glenn, and you know, you want
It's
to
an
talk
easy.
about
That's an easy thing to do
you
because
want to talk
Coach
about
Glenn's such a great
an
guy.
amazing human being. But you know, he was the gym teacher at Scott Middle, so I saw him my entire life. I used to fake being sick just to go play in his gym class when I was a little kid. But anyways, he's always been amazing to me. And last year I got the opportunity to be with him a lot, and really I was with him a lot of the time. He was making that schedule, so he would talk to me like, "Man, we got to play these guys." But you know, here in a year or two, we're gonna be pretty good, and hopefully they
you
jumpstart
talk about freshmen that are already on notice or getting notice. I would talk about a man by the name of Colton Helton. You might recognize the last name. He's a player to watch for the Cardinals going forward. He'll be a freshman, and I'm sure will be in the starting lineup as a freshman. As he's been all over the travel circuit and getting recognized.
Yeah, he's got a few freshmen that he really likes. Speaking of Timmy Amongo, he loves him at guard. You know, so Timmy Amongo, Red Owens was a great basketball player. He's only going to be a freshman. Colton Helton. Then you got a couple sophomores. He really likes guards. So, you know, he's got some young talent. Obviously, they're going to take their lumps, but
goes in cycles,
Yep.
as we know, and we've seen how the gradual progress at the other school of a talented freshman class that got in the lineup early and often, and nothing makes you better than playing good competition and getting tested at that varsity level right off quick. And it's certainly going to happen in the 42nd district for the Cardinals.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you know, goes in cycles. Scott County has such a great history in basketball. But when I was, you know, in 8th grade, we went to the state championship game. But then when I was a freshman, we lost in the first round of the district. It was the first time in forever. Lost a lot of guys. But that next year was when Michael Marino and Glenn and Bryce Long and all those were freshmen. And Cooper Robb was a sophomore. And for the next 3 to 4 years, Scott County just ran through everybody in the state. So as you mentioned, Scott County basketball might have been a little down the last couple of years, but I guarantee you, Coach Tim Glenn's the man for the job, and he's going to get it turned around. It's just all about getting some players, and in his system, they're going to be winning a lot of basketball games these next few years.
It's another program that's going to benefit from the excitement of a new facility here in a year, and it's going to definitely
which is awesome.
Boost the fortunes and the morale.
Yeah, it's great to have new everything, obviously, but that gym at Scott County is still one of the best in the state.
Oh, it's so loud in there. I attended a volleyball match about a month ago, and even half full with everybody screaming and hollering, you couldn't hear yourself think. So.
Yeah, it's nice and big, echoes off those windows up there. It's nice.
So Scott County on the road 3 of the next 4 weeks. They'll have a bye week mixed in there as well. Next week they'll be going to South Oldham. That's one of those places that on a Friday is not easy to get to. So we recommend you leave early. I think you got to take the Gene Snyder to get there. It's a 7:30 kickoff. South Oldham playing Woodford County tonight. So one of those teams will take their second loss overall and first in the district.
You have any update on that game? That should be a pretty good game, I would say.
I would imagine there's some people there.
Somebody's got to be there. Just saw an update. Anybody attending the Cats game tomorrow? Kentucky's wearing all blue.
Woodford County 23, South Oldham 6 at the half.
Just want to give everybody a uniform update.
They're wearing the blue?
All blues. It's normally kind of the go-to for a home game against Florida.
So it looks like the Jackets in control of that one. So South Oldham, in fact, it was a 16-0 second quarter for WOFO as they opened the 23-6
23-6, yep, just saw it. Still not crazy.
No, I mean,
but
that's about what I expected.
Right.
I feel like Scott and Woodford are the cream of the crop, and South Oldham based on opponents and yeah, they're probably in that third spot. So winner, Scott County's got to win that, and then if they do, you got to figure that Scott Woodford game is for home field advantage the second week of the playoffs against the sister district.
And that's as you mentioned, we haven't played there in forever, but That's a weird little place to play at Woodford County.
You're kind of in behind there in that Falling Springs
Yeah,
Park.
it's kind of just in a little bowl action. Got to play a couple middle school games there. It's just it's a weird little place to play, and it gets loud. And Woodford County has a lot of pride in their county and in their school. That's another one of those schools that how Scott County used to be. It's only one school in that county, so they definitely got the WOFO pride, and it should be good. Scott County coming to town, they'll have that place packed out, ready to go.
It's about a mile from my house now, so I'm looking forward to that one.
You can go tailgate.
That's right. It's a good thing.
Maybe take a little walk over there.
My wife is soon to be an employee of the Woodford County School District, so I've got some roots over there. But
I'm still going to count you as a Scott County.
You better count me as a Scott County.
Can't switch up.
No, never, ever.
Hey, I'm a model patriot now, but I'm always going to be a Scott County.
Exactly right. We can get our mail in different places, but it's always going to come home to the 40324.
That heart can't change.
Oh, my. They're bringing us snacks and everything.
Take a water.
Grab me an Ale-8 and a slice of pizza.
Is this a dog? I'll take a dog. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank
yes, sir.
you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Jerry bringing up the concessions food for us.
Man. Got you a nice little Kentucky Ale-8.
Yes, I usually have the diet Ale-8, but we'll go with the regular night. You can't pass up an Ale-8. I mean, come on now.
It's funny when I went to the school in Tennessee for a couple of years, and you see some people see an L8, they're like, "What's that?" It's just such a Kentucky thing, and people love it here, and other people just have no clue even what it is. I always thought that was funny.
I had never heard of it, and when we moved here, my wife's cousin, we moved in with them for a while we were getting settled, and they bought us one of the things they presented to us when we first got here was a case of Ale-8. That's when I became addicted.
Scott County High School band graduates Megan Deaver, Elizabeth King, and Lucas Kinzer.
Maine has a soda called Moxie, if you've never heard it, and it tastes a little bit like cough syrup if you're not from there.
That's funny.
But the locals, it's a similar vibe to Ale-8 in that it's a love-hate relationship, but you don't want to insult it around the people that love it. That's for sure. They have a whole festival devoted to it and everything. Parade every year. Scott County not back on the field yet. Anderson County coming out of the locker room on the business end. Actually, Scott County is down here getting stretched and ready to go. So
I was actually about to mention this. Probably the earliest I've ever seen.
I was going to say that I'm not
room.
used to it. I wasn't even looking down there because I didn't think there was any. The band's still on the field. There was any chance of it. But 48-6 Scott County. If you're just joining us, second half will be under a running clock as most of the second quarter was.
Hopefully Scott County can keep it there. Get you home a little early.
A little early. You're right. This is the Halloween thing. They're playing Michael Jackson's Thriller down there.
Yeah, that's what normally they get to do this a lot later, but with the way Scott County has their schedule this year, everything's moved up so early. As we mentioned, outside of maybe the COVID year, I can't imagine Scott County's ever had a year where they've had senior night and homecoming in September. Homecoming, yes. Senior night, almost never, I would say.
No. That's usually week 10,
game.
week 11.
Yep. It's all cold. It's pitch black when they're doing the announcements.
Not tonight. We still had a little bit of daylight. We still had
look at the band getting some moves out here.
Kickoff temperature was in the mid-70s.
Well, they're doing the whole Thriller act. I love it.
And they don't care that the clock is ticked down to almost zero. They're going to do
this is
what
their
they
time.
Do. That's right.
They're getting their moves in. I love it. Mr. Bond down there, great band director.
Mm-hmm.
Also does a lot at Scott Middle. I would say after this song, though, they're probably going to kick them off. Time to play some football.
It's like in the basketball season when Little kids are on the court
Yeah.
shooting around. Like,
Please
get off the court.
Yeah, please get off the court. There they go. They never disappoint. Love listening to them.
Always great. We have a player. We had a JV soccer game going on behind us, and I see at least one player down there still in his soccer uniform with his horn.
Yeah.
So he went right from one to the other.
Right to it. I love it.
I think we've probably had a couple of cases here. I've seen it covering other schools where actual players in full football uniform are
Palmer
out
Ward
there
used
at
to
the
do
half.
that.
Yeah.
Palmer Ward was an all-state kicker at Scott County back in the real heyday of, playing state championships. And he'd come out there. He was a drummer. He was awesome. Scott Middle used to have a pep rally all the time, and he would come over and play the drums. It was like a scene out of what am I trying to think of here, Cal? It's a drum movie, but
Drumline.
There we go. That's what it was like a scene out of. He was awesome at it. But yeah, he used to go out there in full pads at halftime. He was a kicker. He didn't need to listen to Coach McKee's speech.
No, he's going to be out on the field anyway, practice his kicks if he wasn't wasn't playing his drums. So this is our last regular season home game for Scott County. Great Crossing we will have on Friday, October 27th, and their regular season finale against Collins. Other than that, I'll be on the road for the next 3 weeks. Scott County will have that bye before its season finale at Catholic.
Any Red Leg fans out there? Reds are up 7-0 in the second inning.
Getting down to crunch time in baseball.
It's a must-win to even have a chance at the playoffs. First time in a while.
Yeah.
2020, but outside of that.
The ever-expanded playoffs that Major League Baseball has given us through the years. All about the almighty dollar, as we know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Keeps more of those games interesting at this time of September.
It does.
In the past, you'd have teams that would be way out of it that are still in the conversation. I'm really just being grumpy because I'm a Red Sox fan.
Because your Red Sox are not very great this year.
We've just been everybody's clincher this week. The Orioles.
I remember you gave me a very hard time about 6 years ago that I said I didn't really care who won, the Yankees or Red Sox. I kind of liked both of them, and you
kind of like both. You can't kind of like both of them.
I'm a diehard Kentucky fan. I hate Louisville, and you were saying that's exactly how that is. You can't just cheer for both of them.
It's true.
I said, all right, I understand, Cal. No argument here.
Exactly. Kind of like tomorrow, Gators and Cats. You just
can't really cheer for both.
No, you got to pick one. Get on one side or the other. Early start, as Mark Stoops acknowledged earlier this week. Hope everybody's ready for it in their own special way. This second half is underway. And returned, a little rugby scrum there at the 25.
It's kind of what happens when you don't really get a running start. He caught it and kind of just
kind of a jogging,
half
jog. And the Cards defense will go back to it. We see some starters mixed in there as we did earlier. We see Valencia, Wands, Stevenson, actually mostly starters.
Yeah, I don't think, even though it wasn't their fault, I don't think Coach Monty was very happy with that touchdown before the half. I think he's going to at least give the starters a series or two to start this second half, and then after that, let the JV get some run.
Castle in the spread. They'll run it. Not much there.
They really like that kind of reverse counter where the quarterback rolls out to the right or left, the halfback goes the other way. Scott County's done a great job of roughing it up, but I could totally see that working on a lot of teams that they play.
Nehemiah Wilson and Hunter Hilton combined for 13 carries and 30 yards in the first half. So
again,
did a better job than some teams do running the ball.
Right. I was about to say again, I like what Anderson County's doing. It's just, when you don't have the Jimmies and Joes to fully run your playbook, it's going to be hard.
Need some more time in the weight room and some seasoning. Fake to the man in motion, and now a throw into the left flat complete for a first down. And that is the second first down of the game for Anderson. The first one might have been on a penalty. No, that's right. They got one at the end of the half before the touchdown. But they didn't have one of their own volition. They had that one kind of handed to them on a turnover and gave them a little momentum for the first time. This is the first one they've gotten after normal starting field position, which has not been very good for them. It's been at or around the 20 all night long, other than that short scoring march.
Another good play design. Now they're coming back out in a
Castle under center.
I don't even know what.
Kind of a split backfield.
Yeah,
now one man goes in motion. It's kind of a split eye. Quarterback sneak. I don't even know if that's the play they called. It just sort of.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Castle,
half the team didn't move.
Castle just saw something and called for the snap and picked up a couple of yards.
I get it if it's 3rd and 1.
Not a bad
first and 10.
Not a bad result, I guess. They were in 2nd and 12 so much in the first half that 2nd and 8 seems nice.
Yeah, I guess, but hey, positive yards. Dad always said you can't go broke making a profit.
Second down and 8 at the Anderson County 37. 48-6 your score. Anderson has run the first 3 minutes of this third quarter off the clock. Castle to throw. Has a man. Complete. Broken up by Paul Garner. Just nailed him.
I saw that
from the backside.
I've seen that too many times. It's when you're a safety and you get a play like that, it's just
light him up.
Light him up. And honestly, I thought Paul was going to hit him harder. I think he was just kind of, let me just break the ball up. He did a good job of that. Brings up a 3rd down.
3rd and 8. Clock continues to run with the 42-point lead. Taking a little piece out of the Georgetown College playbook with the PA and playing the For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica here on 3rd down.
That should have been a penalty, but again, I don't think the officials really care tonight. That's an illegal substitution, but that's fine.
Castle running for his life, going to get sacked. Stevenson was in on it, along with others. Jacob Blair was there as well.
The Cards the last couple times went a little punt safe towards the end of the half. I would expect them to go after this one.
Good to see A.J. Wands back on the field. He was injured down at Bull County, and I thought that might have been a more long-term thing too, but they only missed him for a couple of games.
Yeah, that's awesome to see.
Amongo to return the punt. Collins has run one back tonight.
Well, went punt safe again.
Fair catch, and then it takes a hop. Amongo muffs it on the hop, and the Cards, I think, fell on it.
Yep. Scott County ball.
First down at their own 31. Couple of misadventures in the punt return game. We mentioned that punt return for a touchdown, but even that one, Collins mishandled it first. It's been Anderson County's best play in some ways.
Yep. That's really what's going to stop this Scott County offense, especially going into the playoffs, is if they turn the ball over.
Can't do it in any shape or form.
If they can hold on to the football, obviously you're going to have mistakes. It's part of the game. But, you know, if you limit that to 1 or 2 mishaps over the rest of this year, they're going to be extremely hard to stop.
Toss right, a lot of room. Cut back inside across the 40. Michael Wilson. You're going to hear a lot of names we don't normally talk about here and over the duration of this one.
See if Scott County can add to the tally of total names with a touchdown tonight.
Donovan Meeks is the fullback.
I love watching him run. Still hasn't got it.
Antonio Fry on the carry. He gets stacked up after a gain of a couple. I think he got the first down.
Yeah, he did. I didn't see what number it was, but kind of a double team tackle just stood him right up.
1st and 10 at the 43, 5:15 to play, third quarter, 48-6.
You like to see that if you're Anderson County. You know, they're still fighting. They're still playing hard. There goes Meeks.
Up the middle, Meeks. Good hard run for 10 plus and another first down into Anderson County territory.
It's a good thing when even the JV has you guessing where the ball is.
Yeah, it was Anderson County looked very uncertain. Meeks again pushes the pile across the 40 to the 38 for another good gain of 5 on first down.
I'm sure they got harped on so much at half about taking care of the football, and Meeks is kind of a little gingery, you know, kind of going through the line right now, just really holding on to that ball. Once he gets older, he'll smash that hole and start running over some guys for even extra yardage.
They will run the counter, and lots of room for another first down for Fry, thrown out of bounds at the 26. So Antonio Fry gets a lot of time on the defensive side. We mentioned gets a share of JV carries and gets his first tonight.
And he's been a great special teams player, Cal.
Yes, he has. He's caused a couple of turnovers there early in the season. First 2 games.
Yeah, fell on a couple fumbles and forced a couple as well.
Wilson in motion. They'll give it to Meeks. A lot of room again across the 20. A big hole there up to the 17. A gain of 9.
That's what you always want to see as your fullback. It makes sure that it's multiple guys bringing him down. If you're in the Scott County offense and one guy's tackling your fullback, that's normally an issue, which I've been alive for 24 years. I don't think I've ever seen one. So
we didn't know it. We think this was a starting offense as they have moved it well here on this series into the red zone.
Good cutback. Oh.
Yeah, it gets the first down and gets tripped up at the 13.
Yeah, that was a good shoestring tackle.
Ian Keith, a sophomore.
We're really getting into names we're not used to now.
I was going to say, that's a soccer name usually around Scott County. Meeks lowers his head to the 7.
I'd run that play as many times as it takes to get back in the end zone here. He's getting chunk after chunk. I'd run at least 2 more downs here.
2nd and 4. And a whistle.
They go back to it.
Timeout.
Anderson County.
Anderson County wants to talk this over. They'd like not to give up another score.
Yeah.
Don't blame them.
Yeah, definitely. Scott County was going to Meeks right there, back to the same play. I'd be shocked if they don't do the exact same thing. If not, they'll fake it, bring it back around on the sweep. I would expect one of those 2 plays here by Scott County, and I'd also expect one of the 2 to probably give them 6.
I would say the odds are in their favor.
Sort of Jackson Dameron yell out. Let's see if we can, if we're going to get him in at fullback maybe. I'm telling you, he might be the most talented fullback on the roster. We just don't get a lot of look at him because, again, he's not really needed. Jacob Fryman does such a great job, and Kane Garrett's a great second speed.
Toss, Fry, it's on the turf. He has to go back and pick it up. Hopefully the Cards are able to fall on it. Still loose.
They're marking him down.
This might end up being a Taysir Jabor field goal attempt if they don't get it. It's 3rd, now double sticks. 3rd and 14.
Yeah, outside of a turnover, that was about worst case scenario.
Third down.
Meeks up the middle, kind of get it in the center of the field for Tayseer, I would imagine. Anderson County timeout did his job. It kind of slowed the momentum there and kind of iced the Cards a little bit, I think, as they were, as you said, getting it in chunks.
Right. But I like this. You know, Tayseer's going to be – he's going to be needed in this playoff run for Scott County or just, you know, at the end of this regular season. So get him some looks here.
He kicked a 45-yarder down at Lincoln County in
Right.
a similar situation. The game had already been decided. This is from 31 going toward the field house. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is good. Tayseer Jabbour, with plenty of room to spare, drills a 31-yarder.
I mean, yeah, he kicked that on top of the field house. So that was, he had plenty on that.
He killed it.
Good job by Tayseer. Takes the Cards out to 51-6 with 1:16 left in the third.
Quality win on senior/alumni
Yeah,
night.
you know, they're doing exactly what they needed to do. Take care of business. Let your JV get some run. Get ready for next week.
That would have been good from 50 plus. And Tayseer makes the lead almost 50 plus, 45. He gets them over the 50 mark. Cards leading at 51-6. Now Jabbour will kick off again. Multiple touchbacks tonight. Senior who just made the full transition from soccer this year. He gave that up. He was playing both sports last year. He was kind of an understudy to Ian Stanley, who was kicking. Now Stanley has focused on soccer only, and Tayseer has won the job here. Squibs this one. Anderson picks it up at the 19 and stacked right there. Kane Garrett was there early, but somebody got in. Was it Fry or Stevenson? One of them. Looks like Stevenson.
Yeah, he slowed his momentum, but Kane Garrett stuck him right there, stood him right up.
Stevenson's had a good night, though.
Yes, he has. All over the place.
Returned a block punt for a touchdown.
And that's kind of what that rover position is that he plays. It's really the one position in Scott County's defense that you really don't have a true assignment. It's kind of just you're playing that outside linebacker position. Don't let anything outside of you, obviously. Keep contained. But, you know, he's going to come off the edge on blitzes. He's going to be in the run game. He drops in pass game. He's kind of all over the place.
Running it wide for a long loss. Dameron, the first one there. Hughley stacked up. All kinds of whistles, and they didn't let up, but no flags, fortunately.
Yeah, good play by Dameron. He just shot through that hole, stood him right up, let the Cardinals rally.
His forward progress will be at about the 13. It was a 7-yard loss.
I was afraid that that'll be the end of the third quarter, but I was afraid they might call a late hit because the Cards just kept driving
continue.
Back.
I don't know if they thought they were going to get a safety out of it or what, but they were definitely going to give him his forward progress, which was not much. It was a -7 in the big scheme of things. 12 minutes to play in this one. A nice early night, as we've mentioned a couple of times. Get home and check out the 11 o'clock news and watch the highlights.
Got some good college football games on tonight.
Yeah, NC State up 10-0 on Louisville last time I checked.
BYU Cincinnati plays tonight. Utah and Oregon State play tonight.
Always love those late Friday and late Saturday games because quite often that's the only time I get to watch them.
Normally, we won't get to say it much longer, but Pac-12 After Dark. You got 2 of those tonight.
That Colorado State game a couple weeks ago ended at like 2:30 in the morning.
Auburn went out to California in week 2, played the Cal Bears, and that game ended at like 2:30.
Very late.
Hopefully I hear this a lot tomorrow. That'd be my goal. Those of you that can't hear,
it's a
Grove
party.
Street Party
it's
is
a party.
playing.
It's a party.
It's good to see the students are still here and fired up, even after Scott County, blowing them out right here.
I got a whole lot of money. Third quarter stats will interrupt me before I say something I shouldn't.
Oh, another middle screen.
A little middle screen is going to get some dough this time as they almost get it out to the stick. They went from 2nd and 17 to 3rd and 1. So
I told you in the first half they
might be the longest play of the night for the Bearcats.
They tried to run that play, and I said they were one guy being blocked away from getting a good chunk of change, and they got that one man blocked on that play right there.
They had 26 yards of total offense for the evening. They just added 16 to it.
I like that play design, and they got Scott County leaning.
There have only been 52 plays in this game. That's what happens when the running clock starts early. I think that'll be a first down.
Yeah, looks like
fullback Hilton pushes the pile to the 31. Blair will get the stop. Justin Stevenson with 3 tackles for loss tonight in addition to the block punt returns. You gotta put him as a candidate too. I gotta make a decision on this West Banco play of the game.
Pretty wide open.
You could go with Collins. It would be the easy way out. It's kind of like the Amongo game last week.
Right.
But, Stevenson would be the pick. Garner's blocked 2 kicks and made 5 tackles. But
did we ever figure out who actually came away with that interception?
That's a good question. No, we didn't, because it's not on here. I'd have to look at the long version of the stats. There's another sack. Thompson gets that TFL on the quarterback. Big loss back to the 22.
It was Jackson Dameron.
They're going to give, Dameron.
Yep.
Yeah, we thought it was on that side of the field.
Yeah.
You called that one.
It was either him or Paul. Paul's 4, Dameron's 14. They're both playing around the same spot. So, as you just mentioned, a lot of guys doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
If he gets another sack, we'll give it to Justin.
All right.
How about that?
Let's say.
Another tackle for loss.
He just needs one more. That might be
it. He almost got it.
And that will be, I thought that was going to be a horse collar.
Yeah, it looks like he got him around the shoulder pad. Shaden Fields in on the tackle.
3rd and long, 14 to be exact. Well, call it 13.
Well, it looks like Justin's out of the game now, so that's not going to happen. Got most of the JV in.
We can flip a coin. I mean, Buddy Collins had 3 touches tonight. He scored on 2 of them and almost scored on the 3rd, set up the Fryman touchdown.
Guess you go, buddy.
I think we should. I like to maybe get a defensive player once in a while, but
and that's where mostly he plays. So
yeah,
you're still kind of getting
you're still kind of sort
what
of
you want.
That's a floater that's almost going to be picked.
Yeah, that was a good play on the ball.
The receiver had to play defensive back there.
It might be Ellis. Yeah,
it is indeed Ellis Hughley. Pair of aces on the jersey, number 11.
I feel like I have good eyes, but when it's on the opposite side of the field,
that's a true test right there.
Jerseys,
I can only go by body type at that
tough.
point, and that's really hard when you're dealing with high school kids. So. Clock running, 8:10. 4th and 13. Anderson County will punt it once. Oh, they're going to fake it. And they're going to have all kinds of room. 1st down and more. 45, 50 into Scott County territory. Whatever gets you through the night, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be showing that off in a blowout loss.
Well, yeah.
But hey, you want to get the offense some more run, whatever.
What are you going to do?
Mike Davis will not be happy about that, regardless who's out there.
Regardless which unit is on the field. And Paul Garner's walking off. Stevenson.
Yeah, I mean, that was the starting.
It wasn't
that was the starting
backups.
Punt, right. That's something you just can't have happen, especially this.
Jackson Dameron dancing as he comes off the field. So, as we said, a party atmosphere.
Yeah, I guess not too worried about it. Ooh.
Good hard run by Nehemiah Wilson.
That was. Thought the Cards were going to get some good penetration there.
We got a Cardinal
Someone down.
down still, and Trainer Dan will run out and check on things with 7 minutes to go. Don't believe it would be a starter at this point.
No.
Hughley, of course, still playing defense, but he's walking off.
Yeah, I think they fully have the JV team in besides Ellis.
Hughley got almost no run on the offensive side tonight. 1 carry for 26 yards.
Yeah, I guess you don't really have to.
Well, like I said, they
everyone
only
else is getting
ran
chunks.
22 plays,
Right.
averaging more than 11 apiece. And that's with a few fumbled snaps mixed
Pretty
in.
big
Looks like
body.
he bumped his elbow or something.
You know, that might be, Cal, that might be Red Owens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Freshman.
One of those promising class of 27
Holding his elbow.
Cardinals.
It's never good. Maybe a
Yeah.
hyperextended a little bit.
Maybe just bumped into a helmet or something and
Yeah.
went numb on him. We
Right.
can hope for the best.
Yeah, obviously. I don't like that he's holding it straight, though.
No.
That's
a
never
little
good.
That's a little unsettling. Get a good threshold for pain if it's anything serious, because he's just kind of walking
Good tackle.
normally.
Ooh,
And throws him
plants
down. That's Stevenson? That was
No,
Fry.
Antonio Fry.
Again, that 2-0 and 2-8.
Yeah, that was
That was
met
a-
him in the
that
hole
was-
and
that
drove
was a-
him all the way
that was
back.
That was a wrestling MMA maneuver.
Yeah, put him
there.
on his back. 3rd and about 6.
6:23 to go in this one. Ball at the Scott County 38. Actually, it's 3rd and 4. I guess they just changed the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And timeout,
Scott
Coach
County.
Monty.
I will say, Cal, Anderson County's had probably 10 illegal substitutions. They haven't called it one time tonight.
These officials have let them play for the most part lately.
Yeah,
Penalties,
which I get.
There were only 2 penalties each side through the first 3 quarters. There was 1 blindside block or chop block.
You know, especially in games like this, if it doesn't affect the outcome, like, whatever, just keep going. It's kind of like those referees in basketball that will call a petty
Call it
foul in the
differently.
backcourt, like when it doesn't really matter. Like, it never affected the play. Just let that go.
Let it slide,
Yeah,
especially when it's a running clock.
right. So I'm not going to complain about the referees tonight like I did last week.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about not being employed by ESPN. We can kind of
Get a little more free.
get a little more freedom on it. Give the referees a little more heck.
couple less viewers than,
Yeah,
than
we don't
they
have millions
than
watching.
they have for Pac-12 After Dark. Eli back in the shotgun. He'll throw it complete. First down. Kind of juggled it, but held on at the 26. Nehemiah Wilson out of the backfield.
That was a good pass and catch, especially on a 3rd down.
Eli Castle, 6 for 11 on the night. He has the interception. He only completed those 5 for 21 yards before that one, but a first down. Anderson County only had 2 first downs all night. They've matched that total here lately. Trying to get themselves another score before they get on the bus back on I-64 or the Martha Lane Collins Parkway, whichever way they go. Little run there by Hunter Hilton. Thompson in on the stop. A couple of yards there for the Cats. 2nd and 8 at the Scott County 24.
Played quite a few baseball games in Anderson County. Never played a football game. I
No.
take that back. They played a JV game there one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another weird little place.
I covered softball there before.
It's got to be a false start.
No,
call
you're right. They have completely written off.
Any flags?
No, there's one. They were going to write it off, and then somebody said something they shouldn't. And a very late, what would appear to be unsportsmanlike conduct flag against the Cardinals. So another first down the easy way for the Bearcats. Ball will be at the 15. So now the Bearcats in the red zone. Trying to score for the second time. It's been helped by penalties and a fake punt. First one was helped by a turnover. Basically caused by a turnover, created by. So they'll mark it at the 14 now. As Sweet Caroline serenades us.
You love that song.
Neil Diamond serenades us in the background. There is would have been a tackle for loss. Second effort gets it back almost to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, that's a big Red Sox thing too. I don't know what. I guess it started in like the late 90s. There's a high school football team up there, Levitt High School. They're one of the powerhouse teams in Maine, and they play that after every win. So I heard that a lot when I was covering Friday Night Football too.
He just follows
up
you
north.
You don't sound like a northerner.
I have adapted. 7.5 years, it's softened a little, I think. Hanging out with Eastern Kentucky people like Steve Helton, you start to talk like that.
Billy Hicks,
Coach
Glenn.
Exactly.
Even though he's this guy,
he's a local,
guy,
but he still sounds like
country.
one of them. There's a nice throw by the Cats, and it'll be. Are they going to call it a touchdown or not? They're going to think about it. Yes, it's a touchdown. 15 yards. Eli Castle. Jackson Hardin, like Hardin County. Excuse me. 3:25 to play. Makes the score 51-12.
Yeah, again, it does. It doesn't matter really. It matters for your pride, though. And looks like he got it through. He did.
John Frazier with the extra point.
Frazier kicks the PAT, 51-13.
I wonder if the Cards will have the JV return team. I don't think so. I was going to say, normally the special team stays varsity. Make sure, that doesn't get a debacle or anything. But
yeah.
Because those are, those are hard things to try to bring a JV in. Especially when you don't know if they're going to try to onside kick or not. Just go ahead and throw the hands team out there and get them ready for a situation that might come down the road, regardless. It does look like the two return men are out, but it looks like the rest of the return team is the varsity starting return team. But Buddy Collins and Timmy Amongo are not in.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have Isaac York up front.
Yeah, Luke,
Sean Rowe,
Paul
Stevenson.
Yeah, all those guys are still out there except
They're going to squib it. Fair caught by Ellis Hughley. The Cards should be able to run the rest of this time off the clock with no more than 3 plays. Things are being run pretty liberally down there. They probably won't even have to snap it until about the 2:40 mark. And they haven't started the play clock yet, so. The West Banco player of the game tonight will be Buddy Collins. He had a touchdown run, another near touchdown run, and then a punt return for a touchdown. So congratulations to Buddy. Of course, a lockdown defensive back as well for these Cardinals, who will go to 6-1 overall, 2-0 in the district, headed to South Oldham next week. Meeks, a lot of room. Roman past midfield to the 40 before he's taken down. Gain of 30+ for Donovan Meeks.
Good run. Gave that safety a stiff arm for about 6 yards. Finally got him down.
He's a workhorse on the JV and a 37 carry game and 90+ degree weather against Bryan Station earlier this year. So, as you said, he's probably varsity capable on most teams. Just there's such a glut of fullbacks. It's a happy problem to have.
I wonder if number 8 is Juju Harmon. That's normally obviously Jasanti Harmon's number.
Could be.
But they got a different number 8 out there. Obviously, it's not Jasanti.
Meeks again. Yeah, I'm going to guess that's Juju.
Actually, I don't think it is. That might be there's a good freshman running back on the freshman team. His name escapes me right now. I think that might be him.
Of course, on the KHSAA roster, still listed as Jasanti.
Right.
Meeks getting all the carries here down the stretch. First down, I don't think the Cards will run more than one other play. 51-13, barring anything crazy here, is going to be your final score. Yes, Cards fans, we'll see you again probably for the first round of the playoffs here. Hopefully the second, and third, and fourth too on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network. But they've got to get some wins on the road here, starting with South Oldham next week. I'm going to kneel on it here. Might have to run one more play, maybe not. Got another, somebody, whoever the quarterback is now is wearing Ali's number. I know it's not Ali.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Victory formation at any rate. Final snap of the game. And they will kneel on a Cardinal victory over the Anderson County Bearcats, 51-13. Cards go to 6-1 overall, 2-0 in the district. Two big ones coming up. South Oldham, then Woodford County. Hope you all can travel along with me and Sam and root the Cards on as they try to get where they want to go here in the 2023 season. Sam, any final thoughts?
No, Sky County took care of business, did what they needed to do. Let's hopefully get a good, strong push towards the end of the year here on the road. Get ready, geared up for the playoffs.
For Sam Sutton, for Peter Wilson, for DT Wells, for Mike Scoggin, for Ryan Minion, our photographer, I am merely Cal Oak saying good night, God bless. Your final score one final time, Scott County 51, Anderson County 13. Good night, everybody.
Go Cards. C-A-R-D-I